It's a 120 foot Cottonwood. It's up there a ways. So we're gonna do an ascent video. I brought both my climbing lines because one's not gonna be long enough for sure. Okay, I'm up and over the whole tree. Can't tell if the ball is pulling it or the wind. Okay, there it is. Now I could mule a second one up. I'm gonna try this. Except I can't even get. I'm gonna need a third throw on. Now we get the friction of two lines here. Okay, there we go. Now that I'm pulling a line up, that lead is way out there. But it's kind of the highest point of my tree. So I'm gonna want a lot of all my tail. So I'm gonna pull this up as high as I can. It might be for that knot to get all the way to the crotch. Because I'm way out there like that, this is a good high lead too that I'll probably utilize. That's probably higher. But just to give myself a little bit of compression force, and we could tie this back here, and that changes the angle of force on my crotch up there. All right, get over it. That will be safer. Climbing over a fence with a ring, you know, you're just asking for trouble. You know, I know. Shouldn't wear rings at work, but I have somebody in my life that appreciates me wearing my ring. So I wear my ring. Yeah, that's gonna work. I can climb all the way up there. All right, I've got my line set. That's a long ascent. It's a 100-foot ascent, basically. So I've got my jet set foot ascender. I've got it on my left foot. What's nice about the jet set is you can go left or right footed. If I'm using a knee ascender, I put it on the right foot. I put it on the left foot because that's what I footlock with. So I'm going to use this and then, you know, use a right foot assist like I'm footlocking, except I've got the foot ascender on, so I don't have to actually lock the rope, but I can use my right leg to help push, so my left leg doesn't get tired over there. And I like that because it's a longer stroke. You can bend your knee way up, and then that's the beauty of footlock. You get a longer stroke. The knee ascender, you know, it's these short, choppy strokes, and then both your feet are trapped. I just used it the other day, and I'm like, why do I do this? I don't like it. I can't. I get somewhere and I want to put my foot out, and it's all strapped in. So anyways, I'm going to use a foot ascender only, and for my friends in Guatemala, you've got the Mar-bar system. So there's an upper and a lower, but you just use them both as lowers, so two people can use them. And put your feet in those Mar-bars. You don't have to have two ropes. They're set up for a double rope system. And just use a single rope on one of the ascenders and stand on those. And then, you know, lengthen your ascenders out. Do a longer tether like my long tethers. Let's see here. Mercy. So I've got these, 3-foot tethers on my ascenders so that I can put them above my head. So make your tethers long so you can put them above your head, and then you can get a long stroke with those Mar-bars and bring them way up, and then stand up and move your hands way up. And so that's what I'm going to do today with a single foot ascender. but I'm gonna utilize my second foot as a, just like foot lock. Let's get up in this tree. Okay, so this saw is gonna provide some weight for my foot ascender early on. Well, a knee ascender would probably be just as fast as this method, and foot locking would be faster for me. Still a lot of arm strength, less leg strength. Yeah, that's interesting. It's more energy using than foot lock. I don't know why. So when you guys use the Mar bars down in Guatemala, don't have your lanyards as long as mine on your ascender, because it'll be you'll want to still sit down, like your sit down stand up method, but the Mar bar will just be cleaner. And then the difference is like how you do it now with the straps. You've got your feet on one ascender and your body on the second ascender. So technically you only have one ascender on your life support, because your feet obviously aren't life support, unless you got that second tether on that foot, which I think you do, that second tether to your waist, so you're covered there. But I would put both your ascenders, you know, attached, and make them shorter so you can still sit down, stand up. So technically you'd have 3 ascenders, one on the Mar bar, which isn't life support, and then 2 that you're handling. Yeah, this is a 100-foot climb. Oh, a little ray in my rope at 85 feet. So there's Zach down there. Yeah, this has been an arm workout here. I'm at the top of that basswood out front. Now this is nice because I got 1 free foot. And the foot ascender is pretty easy to get off. Yeah, nice. All right. All right, bring my saw up. Now when I foot lock, I usually have my saw with me, because this is no small task. Dragging this up afterwards. I think it's easier when it's on my body. I suppose if I really, I mean, if I had to climb like this every day, like 100-foot ascents, I would fine-tune the rope walker system and just do it. I'd find a way to get used to it. Because 100 feet is 100 feet, no matter how you measure it. Well, Zach's way down there. Okay, I've got to scoot around and get quite a bit of deadwood here and there, everywhere. But, so, you know, look at what Populus does. Deadwood's not fastened on very hard. So I think, you know, ultimately I want to be in that one, so I'm probably going to flip my rope around and put it through that crotch. Okay, I'm going to climb up a little higher. So when you set your line, and originally, now I had a really high line set, I could have just kept climbing the rope out there. But you know, by the time you climb that far, it's kind of nice to step onto a branch and relax a little bit, especially at my age. I'm 57, so you know, any of you young bucks out there that said, man, he's breathing heavy. Yeah, let's see where you're at 57. Then come talk to me. But I could be in better shape. I don't do a lot of cardio. I do my isometric exercises with my rollbacks and push-ups and sit-ups. But I should bike ride more. If I had a swim facility closer, that might be something I would do. Oh wow, I almost pulled my saw right out. Okay, so I kind of climbed on this, you know, codominant stem. We're gonna join these now. Now that I've climbed all the way up a codominant stem in the top of the cottonwood, I'm gonna change the situation. You know, grace might have its limits in the practical world here. All right, we are on my lanyard. I'm just gonna get this second side on. As I'm looking at that little snag in my lanyard. I should probably change that. That looks a little more than superficial. I just did an inspection there. Should have done that inspection earlier. Yeah, I see. That's a replaceable. We'll have to do that. Okay. I'll get my cinders off. Yeah, that little safety latch. I know it's safe, camp. But Petzls don't have that. All right. We got a lot of weight of rope here. So when you're doing canopy research, when you get up into the tree, then you're going to begin resetting your lines. So you set your line, which a lot of times is lower than what I got here. And there's an advantage to being lower. I mean, this was a strong union, but I couldn't see that from the ground. Even if I had a binoculars, I might not get the right angle to see if that's really a sound. I was relying on the vertical nature of this branch, that it was going to be fine. I brought my rope, my anchor point over to to gain a little compression force through this. You know, that's from experience, because I knew I was way up here. And now that I'm up here, and I can say, you know, might be a better way. Plus this is a little more central for getting over there. And it's important not to just bring it over here, because I would have wrapped around here. I would never pull that out from the ground. So now I'm gonna have a good retrieval. Now when you switch your line, understand that you're gonna have slack in there now. So I gotta weight it. Make sure I'm all the way weighted before I take my lanyards all the way off. So now I got a good central tie-in point. So you ascend into the tree, you reset your lines if you need to. You know, so I might have been, you know, down here with my line, or right there. And then you'd want to climb with your lanyard and get up here and set your line at the highest possible point in the tree. One, you might want to, you know, set research traps in the top of the tree. You know, you want to be able to work the whole tree. Now I'm gonna cut this off. I'm gonna jump up and over this. Come on, let me go. All right. Where'd that come from? Right from here. Wow, it tore off. Got thrown up in here. That's odd. What the wind will do. I know, some of you are saying, why are you bringing a hand pruner into a 120-foot cottonwood? Well, you know, provide value. All right, I'm gonna cut that off. I guess I was up there and I didn't take out that little minutia. All right. Naturalistic pruning. Okay, let's get our lanyard over here. Could use my 2-in-1 lanyard, but you know, I'm not open to a huge swing. Just hold on and get your lanyard on. The cottonwood is just so brittle when it's dead. It's kind of brittle when it's alive. So now once I'm lanyarded in, I can just descend down this branch. Now, if I had to, I could descend out of this tree and work right into that one, but that's not even on the prune schedule. But I might do that to get that chunk of deadwood there. Well, the white oaks are turning a beautiful red. Quercus alba. So yeah, it's funny, the oaks all peak in color after the maples, so a lot of the maples are bare by the time the oaks are turning. So when developing a plan here, once I'm up here, I think I'll just descend down and get that branch clear. I'll probably run right out there because I'm there. I'll take care of that. Then I know I don't have to go back there. Except that lower one doesn't really look like it has anything. But I can get that on the way out. Unless I'm going into a different tree, which I won't be. I might just go down and take care of that. It's been sitting here a while, like a nest in there. They won't have that next year. Okay, so I think I'll do this upper one first if I get anything snagged in that lower one. Fortunately, it's dry today, so I was able to walk up that limb. Might not be so affording on a just gonna snag my rope. Okay, mercy. Oh, the camera gets in the way. All right, I'm a little bit open to a swing, so I'll make sure I keep a hand on something here. And this branch could slide off of that other one, and then actually that one it's on is dead, so get out here and I can throw a lanyard on. Yeah, if this would have busted off and my weight was on that other one, you know, then all of a sudden I'm slipping and falling and taking a swing. I'm just going to use my handsaw that's almost out of my sheath scabbard. Now I don't want to drop it into Zach's tree because he's already on the ground. So, I want to make sure. Oh, the branch. Speaking of a breaking branch, it just occurred. I was fortunately kind of laying down, and I'm lanyarded it in. So, you get something like that happens, that's where you come off. And if I can get turned around and look back that way, it's a long swing, trust me. Okay, we'll just get out here for the sake of getting out here to show that you can. Okay, so if you had to do work out here, which I can pretend I do, this deadwood is probably outside the scope of my directions, but you know, I like to try to get to my feet. I don't like crawling around the whole time. I mean, sometimes, you know, crawling works. I know rock climbers are not about using their knees. I don't know. I've used my knees a lot as a tree climber. Just saying. Like right now, I'm using my foot and my knee right there. That works. So rock climbing and tree climbing are two different things. So if you wanted to put an insect trap out here, or some kind of research camera or something, you know, maybe a camera out here looking back towards the center of the tree. But probably the animals feed, you know, in the peripheral where the fruit is. So maybe you want a camera in the central part. But if you have to get out here to do something, you can't. Now I've got a fairly, finally I can see, now I can turn around this way. And then I can lean against my tying point. So if I had to go farther, I've got a better position like this than actually facing forward, because I can steady myself to the gravity, and I can see where my tying point is. And if I turn around, then I've got to adjust my lanyard, flip it around the other way. But this is a good method to spin and then work kind of backwards. Now coming back off of this, I can bring up the tail of my rope. So I can bring the tail all the way up. If this is a super long thing, I can create a, you know, a climbing system off of my tail. And I might be far enough out here that I want to do that. But the other thing I can do is pull a bunch of tail through and just use it as a handhold until I get to a point. Now I can keep my lanyard on, of course. With my tail held like this, my akimbo just moves down the line. My lanyard is now holding me. I wanted to stay on my feet, but I'm having trouble. Okay, now I don't have enough tail here. Pull some more out. Doesn't want to pull out. Shoot. Okay, I was far enough out there that I should have just, you know, set up a 2-to-1. Now the key is, as I move in here, I got a hand on this branch that I just broke. Wow, do you see that? That's gonna fall into that other tree. I don't want that. Oh, right into this. No, it went to the ground. All right. We'll just inch back here. So I have a half mind to go back out there and set up a second climbing system, because then I could have confidently sat on it as I moved back with that tail that I was using. And it's just as well to have that example. I had to worry about holding that tail for it to support me, and I got into a situation where I couldn't hold the tail. So if I would have taken the time to bring my bitter end all the way up with the tail and set a Blake's hitch and a double rope system on that tail, I could have moved myself right, and I probably wouldn't have broke this branch, and I could have had my hand on both systems, letting one out and lifting the other up, and I could have come back confidently here. Whereas it ended up being a, oh, I'm almost over the swing, oh, branch is breaking, oh no. So anyways, okay, so So I could have had my double rope system on it all the way to here. And then finally untied it and got rid of it. Now, if you're a beginner climber, something like that branch breaking, that like totally freaks you out. Sends you into a tailspin. But it really isn't that big of a deal if you kind of have that anticipation in the back of your mind that, I mean, over the years, tons of little situations like that have occurred in my experience. So I remember I was limb walking and a client was watching, and I was kind of talking through what I was doing, kind of like the, and the very branch I was standing on like broke, and it was gonna fall. And I reached down, I grabbed the branch. You know, I'm in the process of swinging. I grabbed the branch that I was standing on, that now is broken. I get a hold of it. It comes free, I come free. I swing back towards the tree. I don't hit anything, I'm out in the open. And I have the branch in my hand. And I'm hanging there, and I just casually keep talking to the client. You know, sometimes things like this happen. And they're like freaking out, thinking, I would never in my mind do anything like that. Never appear shocked to the client. Rule number one, I don't care what happens. I remember another time I was felling a tree, pretty massive, 36 plus inch diameter red oak, just a couple feet from a kind of historical family cabin, little tiny cabin. And I have it set up to pull with a bobcat, toolcat at the time, and I had a block long, but I was out there, I said, I'll just use this big damn carabiner as a redirect on a double bladed rigging rope. Okay? Mark my words, gentlemen and ladies. Double braided rope. Do not utilize high friction scenarios with double braided rope. The X-rings, you know, I mean, in all my testing, I've rigged a fair amount on X-rings, and some people have done studies on them, because this idea of friction and double braided rope can be bad. They aren't quite frictionless rings, but a carabiner is super non-frictionless. It's got some pretty, you know, significant drag on it, and the bend ratio was pretty significant. And so I start pulling on this. I have the notch all cut, and I'm working solo, so I walk out to the toolcat, and I'm pulling this tree over. It starts to move, and the rope breaks at that gear. And the tree goes boom, 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 right against the curve. It's just sitting there, like hinge didn't break, nothing. I get out of the toolcat, I casually walk out, get another rope. On the way, I walk to the truck, and I got a block, you know, and I casually walk out there, put the pulley in line, and tie another rope, get it all set up, walk back to the toolcat, pull that thing over. It's like nothing ever happened. My heart, man, I had so much adrenaline running through my veins. I don't know how maybe I didn't mask it very well. I thought I was masking it well. I just tried to stay as calm as I could. They're like, wow, you handle that pretty well. So yeah, you know, you just got to be ready for anything. Yada, yada, yada. I almost set that baby through the gap. That's crazy. Okay, let's see. A little ascender assist. Let's demonstrate that. So I like to keep my ascenders always on my saddle like this. So it's always connected. It's always connected in life support. So I can do something like this. And I can have a handle. You know, sometimes with gloves, you know, it's hard to, but if you got a handle, you can just pull this up, but I don't have to worry about like losing it because it's tight too. Now when you get close enough with your lanyard, don't pull it up too far. Like pull it up so that you can walk up the limb like that. Use it as leverage to walk up the limb. And now I'm up here, I'm gonna do a little convenience pruning. I like this branch for the branch sake, but I can take a couple pieces off. And then I can come around this side. Now I gotta be careful. You know, this could break out from underneath me. And then I'd be telling a story like I just told. Yeah, I gotta go up this side. You know, pole saw, maybe. But, you know, then I gotta call somebody, get their attention. I gotta drag a pole saw 100 feet up into the tree. I don't think so. Could do that, but this would be better. Okay, so I'm gonna get this to go through there and then try to let go of it. Now I can use my, that's why in research you might want to use a handsaw too, because it oftentimes comes in handy for that, like that. I was going to leave one of mine down there and I forgot. Sorry guys. Tori Mario has one. So there's one down there, an old Fano blade, I think. Alright. Alright, we're dry enough so I can leverage myself against that. So I was able to just stand up there. Don't try to, the temptation is to try to, you know, crawl up there. But if I got this, so I can leverage against this. Now this I probably want to shorten up a little. And then as I shorten this up, it's always easier to work. Now I can let this out because this is starting to pull me off. So now I want to just be mostly on my lanyard. And don't get distracted with this. Actually, get this out so it's not pulling on me. And then just focus on adjusting your lanyard. And as soon as you can get a hand on something, you get a hand on something. I'm just going to flip this over. I'm in a really comfortable position here. Look at that view. That's cool. Look at the view of the lake. Beautiful day. All right, pinch me, I'm at work. All right. All right, we're cleaned up there. Clean enough. Yeah, if I fall off backwards here, you know, it's not going to be comfortable. I'm going to be like flopping out there somewhere. So always keep in mind as you're climbing where your swing is, because you want to be aware of that. Now I'm going to disconnect this lanyard, so I gotta know when I'm doing that I'm open to a swing. So I'm leaning back against. So I'm done with this lead right here. Now I got to go to that lead. Now it might be actually fortuitous to get that there like that, because I'm going to be able to step across there. Really easy. So rather than go all the way down and come all the way back up, you always want to see, even pruning any tree, kind of work around the canopy, and as much as you can, rather than going down and coming up, going down and coming up. He's alive down there. That tree up here. So when I'm up here, I like to, I know it's overkill, right? But I'm here. Why wouldn't I do little stuff like that? I'm here. So just open your eyes and provide value. You're serving somebody. You guys always say, hey, it's 2-inch deadwood, dude. Yeah, well, it's my client. And I want to provide the value. Come on. Leverage yourself. That rope is holding me. So I got to pull my rope out to finish that move. My rope was actually restricting me, and my lanyard now was beginning to restrict. So I could have had less tension on my lanyard, knowing that as I came around that corner I was going to lose mobility. But anyways, okay, so now I get just a couple cuts here. So I just want to lean out here and get this. And getting my foot in that crotch affords that. All right. Oh, come on. Climbing with my foot ascender on. So one thing I like about them, they're kind of out of your way. Now I got a fence down there, and the back side and the left side of the yard are a brand new fence. So I don't want to go dinging that fence. Okay, I got a little foothold here. Get my lanyard off, it's restricting me now. There are a couple of chunks of deadwood in this tree. That I could run up there, redirect over to there, get those, and then just hit the ground. I may do that. Won't be that much extra climbing. I should go up here. I'm gonna brace myself here. Okay. Again, if I had like little grippy gloves or something, probably this works. Now I can brace myself with my climbing line like this as I'm pulling here. And I can pull this up. Now I can advance this. I'm side loaded on that if I fall on it. All right, get this out of my way. Oh, that wind almost got me off balance. I wonder when I'm older, like am I gonna lose my equilibrium? Question I have. You know what? I can right here just brace myself. I could just do that. When I was younger, I might just muscle myself up there. But, you know, that was pretty easy just to advance my lanyard. Now, I can leverage that and walk up the limb. Now I'm in a place where I got better positioning for a strength move. So utilize your lanyard as a point of leverage. Don't just have it for a fall arrest. It's a climbing tool. You know, I mean, I'm having fun today. It's a good tree, a unique tree, something I don't get to do every day this big. And how often do you have a cool cottonwood, you know? I mean, really, guys. I talked to Jacob recently. He hates cottonwoods. As do I. But you know, I hate box elders too, but I found a cool one of those one time, a couple times. Recommended pruning instead of removal. And this is one of those cottonwoods that is pretty cool. So I can use my lanyard to spin around here. Get out here, I got a couple of pieces out here. One more. Gotta let myself out just a little. And where's that dead piece? Those are minuscule out there. All right, we are look at this. I know. Tie the better bow. All right, let's try it. Pretty hard to do with gloves on. Twice around. Oh, gloves off. I'm gonna drop my gloves. You realize this, don't you? Talking me into this. The fictitious dissenter talking me into tying my shoes in the better bow. Did you see that? I went twice around. I won't have to tie that again today. So let's demonstrate that the second time. I need a little more lanyard up. All right, do not drop your gloves. Okay. So the same cross knot. Is it looking at me? You look. Make 2 circles, 2 full turns. And draw it up tight. And I won't have to tie my shoes again. And I didn't drop my gloves yet. They're not back on yet. Enough minutia. It's like if Lisa ever comes out to the job site, she's like, well, there's Beast, there's Beast. The specification's 2-inch diameter. No, you gotta get that one. The client didn't care about that one. No, you gotta care. Yep. So it's her influence in my head. All right. Don't want this branch to break up my hand. I want to get down in the crotch of it. So I transfer my weight, just sliding down the limbs here. You know, again, if I didn't have a mile of rope, I could have put a double line up there. And actually, there's a point to consider there, because I got to get out there. So I could use a redirect to give me a little better angle. Enough tail, I could have done some various techniques to make a redirect with my double line, but I'm just going to put a redirect where I can get to it again from here. Okay, I gotta put my lanyard on now. Rope up and over. If I go over to that tree there, I don't want to be there. So I'm thinking ahead. I'm ultimately going to go back over there, up there, and down there. So I want my rope on that side. So rather than redirecting through this crotch, that then I would have to come back over here, I'm thinking ahead to the end of my climb, so that my rope's over there. I don't have to do what I just did with that rope. But we'll just get that branch. That was pretty easy. There I am using my knee again. All right, we're in here. Okay, what do I have to do? I got a piece of deadwood out there. That is a very lateral move. Makes me wish I did this differently. I should have that high tying point up there, and then I would just run around here. So talking about thinking ahead, I didn't think ahead on this one. Alright, let's see. Let's see what I can do. Could always turn the intercom on and ask for that stinking pole saw. I think I will. Now, you see, if I had to come off of there and down, I'd just be walking right out here. So the guys are taking lunch, got their intercom off. That's not very nice. Got a guy in a tree. The intercom's off. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is work against my lanyard. And against my tying point. And I can at least get out here. Now I do have a 2-in-1 lanyard. I wonder if it's long enough. Oh, now we have wind. Alright, this is causing havoc. I'm using it right now. That's a lot of wind. That branch is dead at the tip, so don't worry about that one. Well, that's just the end of that. I can slither out there like a reptile. Yeah, probably just as easy as asking for a pole saw. We're gonna do it. Alright, I'm gonna have to let this out. Here's where the knees come in handy. Now I'm just going to lay out. Oh, that was handy. Wasn't that handy? Pull out my climbing line. Now you could throw, you could do this with your main climb line. You could throw, carabiners up here and redirect your main climb line and climb out here. I'm just going to use this lanyard. Get far enough out here to make this one cut. Okay, stand clear. And missed the fence. All right, I'm going to keep this tying point here. I'm going to lanyard on here. I often do this. I lanyard on. I'm going to move my climbing system to the other side here. I could have just stayed on and climbed around there, but now this just kept me from making that more, you know, dynamic move of moving around. And now I can work myself down the back side of this limb without having to worry about coming off. You know, if I want to, I can put my lanyard here like this, just to make sure that I don't have to muscle it. I mean, I would probably choose to just muscle it, but you know, then you can't, if you slip, then you're coming off and you're swinging out there. See, with the lanyard on, I don't go out there. Without my lanyard, I go out here and swing if I come off of here. Okay, I've got this one branch to wiggle out. Probably just grab a hold of this thing and make it come off. I have hardly used that chainsaw on my hip. I can't put too much weight on this branch, I'm going to break it. So throwing a lanyard, or throwing a sender on for a limb walk back is a good way to make a smooth transition. Throw my lanyard on there so I got some leverage. I'm trying to teach using your lanyard for leverage. So again, I could muscle myself around there. But if I shorten up this lanyard, now this is where this will pull on this and let me out. So Claudia, yours is like this. This is the hazard of the Xeon, is that various parts of your saddle or the tree can trigger this, and then you'll slip. So if you shorten this up to where you can leverage against that, and then you can just swivel your hips right around. Now you take this off of here, put it onto here, and pull this up tighter. Now I can, without a lot of dynamic moving, I can get up into this crotch by using my lanyard. Again, I could have kind of kicked off and probably muscled myself up here a lot easier in some aspects, but physically that's not necessarily easier. It's like, just because you have the ability to do it doesn't necessarily mean universally it's the easier way to do it. It's like you can't, when you're teaching, you can't take your own physical fitness and take it for granted. You know, as a tenured climber, not only, okay, I might be strong, but it's also, you know, body positioning and how you move, how you carry your hips in making a move like that and getting up here. You might it might actually be harder. It might actually be harder than actually what I just did. But to the person with the strength and ability, it seems easier. But you can't take that for granted. Just like you can't take your knowledge for granted. When you got a new ground guy on the ground, there are so many things, a myriad of things you can take for granted that, oh, of course they know that. No, they don't. They don't know anything. Even somebody experienced, but they're new to your crew. You know, you think your methods are universal across the industry? No way. You know, there's things that we do that people never did. It's just different methods get developed for various reasons. You know, I never worked for another tree service. You know, I might do things that I developed early on that nobody told me to do them that way, and I didn't learn them from anybody. It's just the way I developed it, and it turned out to be maybe a good way to do it. It's the way I do it. Probably somebody else would say it's not the way to do it, but it was based on, you know, safe working principles and efficiencies of what my skill sets were or something. But I can't make an assumption that that's universal knowledge and that some new ground guy is going to know that. Is that it? I thought there was a hanger out here. There is. Way out there. So the method I'm going to use here is just as if I was advancing my rope. Maybe I threw my rope up higher, and now I'm gonna move up to that. I gotta go all the way up and clear that redirect. So when I was instructing Claudia out that limb, I was telling her to pull the ascender and advance. She had a rig on, but same thing as an akimbo. Pull and advance all at the same time, or alternate one to the other and work yourself higher. So this is basically the body thrust. I'm lifting my hips and then picking up the slack. It's old school, but you know, within the tree, it's often used just to advance your body. Take the weight off. You're actually holding yourself with your arm. See, what I like about having this ascender on my body, I was able to advance that to where I'm on the ascender, and I don't have to worry about advancing the akimbo right away. I'm just gonna go up here and redirect. The thing I like about single line, this has made me mad one too many times. Sorry. I have a problem with vengeance. And it was me who did it. Edgar Allan Poe, the Cask of Amontillado. A wrong is unredressed if retribution overtakes its redresser. It is equally unredressed if the avenger fails to make himself known as such to him who's done the wrong. Why did I memorize that? I don't know. Don't make me angry. I have Edgar Allan Poe philosophy of revenge. Actually not. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. That's the proper approach. But it's a cool quote. I memorized it in college many years ago.
I memorized some other stupid thing in college too. I walked by this dorm room, and on the dorm room was a sign. It said, "Your facial structure is of negative essence, and furthermore, your primary care unit clads your physical being with quantitatively strange textile fabrics." Translation: you're ugly and your mother dresses you funny. Oh, the things that I have in my head, I tell you. Okay, so I have switched this, but I want to make sure, should have done this before I pulled my lanyard off. I want to make sure I've got my slack out of this. Anytime you move your rope, I mean, you could have, because of the weight of that rope, now I had a little friction up here, so I didn't get a lot, but like those knots and stuff, those could drip down several feet, and all of a sudden you think, oh, I'm on my rope now, and you step off of here and whew, you drop several feet. So you always want to make sure that you have all that slack out of the rope. Now you can leave your lanyard on as you come around here. I mean, I'm confident here I got the slack out, so I'm just gonna roll off of here with a handhold. Oh, and I guess an ascender hold. Forgot I had that on there. So I can put this ascender away. Okay. So now I'm gonna just slowly drift back here, and hopefully I can grab this other branch back here before I get too far down. So I want to kind of swim through this. Let myself out a little bit, but my weight is mostly up there. Now I can reach back and get a hold of this. Still, my weight is above me, not on the branch I'm moving to. Now I could, what am I cutting off here? Just 3 branches, and then I could run back up and over this, have an easy open air descent rather than trying to descend down this tree. You know, it's funny, I thought this was that tree underneath, but it's actually that big tree over there. It's actually the neighbor's tree. All right, just to say, I brought this up here for a reason. The wind is pulling me. So there's no place to really put my lanyard that makes this any safer. In a position like that where my position is super stable, and to put my lanyard on just puts my lanyard close to the saw. I mean, why would I do that? When I'm cutting down here, my rope's up here. It just, and there's a clause in the standard that actually accounts for that. It's safer not to have your lanyard on. Don't put your lanyard on. And you know, cutting the lanyard, in my opinion, is unsafe. So, if I'm putting my lanyard in danger with the saw, that might just flex off to there. Look at that. Old Cottonwood. Okay. Now, Guatemala, I mean, Jacob really liked this idea. They, on a long descent like this, they put a figure 8 below their rig or their akimbo. Because, you know, it's kind of, you're kind of pulling on this, and this is all that's got you. And so they'll put a you know, an 8 on another attachment point and run a figure 8 down here, and you can just pull this open and belay the 8, and you still have this as a backup. It's the same as the Prusik backing up an 8. Totally viable method. It reduces the heat on your akimbo. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. So you put a figure 8 down here. Now I actually don't have a figure 8 on my saddle right now, and I've got a, you know, 70 plus foot descent. So I'm a foot locker, so I'm gonna belay with my feet. See that? And so the whole way I'm gonna belay with my feet, and that slows this down. I can come up tight, you know, I can spread them out to get less friction, so I can keep my akimbo a little cooler by belaying with my feet. I can bring my other foot up and slow it down. But you got a long descent, the tool is going to get hot, and it'll run differently when it's hot. So you might be halfway down, all of a sudden it's not holding very well. So by running this friction with my feet, I accomplish the same thing as an 8. It's a long descent. This bad boy is 2 years old. Now this is getting kind of close to all the way worn. It's not fraying my rope. This can get kind of really sharp and start fraying the rope. So far, so good. You could file that off a little bit, make it round. But it's been really good. Over 2 years. Good job, Rock Exotica. Good job. I like these. I mean, you got to learn the adjustments. For me, it was easy, you know, and I didn't really study the science of the adjustments very well. Somebody could definitely do that. So, but it is a good thing if you adjust it for you and use it for you. It's harder to switch between people, or ropes. Look at that buttress rope. Wow, that's huge. Big tree. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, this game of trees. I did another closeout up there because I lost the battery, but somebody showed up to give me a battery. Beautiful day, beautiful tree. I hope I put out some pointers for people learning. Yeah, trust your equipment, and you know, try different things and practice low and slow, and a step at a time, and you'll get better as you go. Take care. Like and subscribe.
Playing the game of trees.